Have you ever seen your phone ring and felt a sudden wave of nervousness just because you might have to speak in English?
Your heart beats a little faster. Your mind starts searching for words.
And even simple sentences feel difficult in that moment
If that feels familiar, you're not alone.
because phone conversations are different.
You can't see the other person. You can't use gestures.
It's just your voice, your words, and your confidence.
And today, we're going to make that easier for you
We'll practice simple, real life English for phone calls.
in a calm, clear, and natural way.
Before we begin, if you want to improve your English step by step,
Subscribe to Calm English Talks.
and share this with a friend who is learning English, it truly means a lot to us.
Now, take a slow breath.
And imagine your phone is ringing.
What is the first thing you say?
Let's start simple.
You can say hello,
Say it slowly. Hello?
or a little more formal, hello, this is your name.
Say it. Hello, this is your name.
This is a confident way to begin.
Now let's move to the next part, asking who is calling.
You can say, may I know who is calling?
Say it slowly. May I know who is calling?
Or simply, who is this, please?
These sentences are polite and clear.
Now, let's imagine you are calling someone.
How do you begin?
You can say, hi, this is your name.
Say it slowly. Hi, this is your name.
Then add, I'm calling to talk about something.
Or, I just wanted to check something.
These are very common.
I remember when I first spoke on a phone call in English.
Were you nervous?
Very nervous. I kept thinking, what if I don't understand?
And what helped you?
Simple sentences. I didn't try to sound perfect.
You focused on clarity.
Yes, and that made everything easier.
Now let's move to something important, asking someone if they're available.
You can say, is this a good time to talk?
Say it slowly. Is this a good time to talk?
Another example, are you free right now?
This is natural and polite.
Now, let's talk about explaining your purpose.
Because after greeting, you need to say why you called.
For example, I'm calling to ask about your work.
Say it slowly. I'm calling to ask about your work.
Another example, I wanted to talk about something important.
These sentences help you stay clear
Now let's move to simple responses.
because the other person will speak too.
You can say, yes, I understand.
Say it slowly. Yes, I understand.
Or, okay, that sounds good.
These responses keep the conversation smooth.
Now let's talk about something very important, when you don't understand.
Because this happens often, especially on phone calls.
You can say, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Say it slowly. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Another example, can you repeat that, please?
This is very important.
Because asking for clarity is confidence.
Not weakness.
Now let's practice a small phone conversation.
Imagine this. Your phone rings.
You say, hello, this is your name.
The other person speaks.
You say, yes, I understand.
Then you ask, can you repeat that, please?
Then you continue, okay, that sounds good.
This is a real conversation.
Simple, but effective.
Now, take a moment.
And imagine your next phone call.
What will you say first?
Try to speak it slowly.
Even if it feels uncomfortable.
That's okay.
Now say this softly. I can speak on phone calls in English, and I am improving every day.
Feel the confidence.
Because phone calls,
Are not about perfect English.
they're about clear communication,
Simple words,
calm voice,
real connection.
and slowly,
With practice,
you will feel more comfortable
more confident.
speaking on the phone in English.
There's something about phone calls that feels a little more intense.
Because you only have your voice.
No expressions, no gestures, just words.
But here's the truth.
Simple words, spoken calmly, are more than enough.
So now, let's go deeper into real phone call situations, step by step.
Let's begin with something very common, asking someone to wait.
Because sometimes you need a moment to think.
You can say, please hold on for a moment.
Say it slowly. Please hold on for a moment.
Another example, Just a second, please.
This gives you time without pressure.
I remember when I used to panic during phone calls.
Because you felt rushed?
Yes, I thought I had to respond immediately.
And now?
Now I take my time and use simple phrases like this.
That's a powerful habit.
Now let's move to transferring a call or asking someone to wait while you check something.
You can say, "Let me check that for you."
Say it slowly. Let me check that for you.
Another one, "I'll get back to you in a moment."
These are very useful in real conversations.
Now, let's talk about taking messages.
Because sometimes the person you want to speak to is not available.
You can say, "Can I take a message?"
Say it slowly. Can I take a message?
Or, "I will let them know you called."
This sounds polite and professional.
Now, let's move to ending a phone call.
Because how you end a call matters too.
You can say, "Thank you for your time."
Say it slowly. Thank you for your time.
Another example, "It was nice talking to you."
Or simply, talk to you later.
These endings feel natural.
Now let's talk about something very important. When you feel nervous during a call.
Because even with practice, that feeling can come back.
And that's okay.
You can slow down and say, "Let me think for a moment."
Say it slowly. Let me think for a moment.
This gives you space without pressure.
Now let's practice a real-life phone conversation step by step.
Imagine you are calling someone.
You say, "Hi, this is your name. Is this a good time to talk?"
They respond.
You say, "I'm calling to ask about something."
Then they explain something quickly.
You say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat that, please?"
They repeat.
You say, "Okay, I understand now. Thank you."
Then you end the call. "Thank you for your time. Talk to you later."
This is a complete conversation.
Simple, clear, and calm.
Now let's build a longer, natural response.
Listen carefully. "Hi, this is your name. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to ask you something, but if this is not a good time, I can call later. Please let me know. Also, if I don't understand something, I may ask you to repeat, because I am still learning."
Take a moment and feel how natural this sounds.
This is not hard English.
This is real communication.
Now, think about your next phone call.
What situation might it be?
Calling a friend, answering a call, asking for something.
Try to imagine it and speak 1 or 2 sentences,
Even softly.
even slowly.
It matters.
Now say this softly. I can handle phone conversations in English, step by step.
Feel the confidence.
Because every call you take
Every sentence you speak,
is building your ability.
slowly,
Calmly.
naturally,
You are becoming more comfortable.
more confident.
Speaking on phone calls.
In English.
There comes a point where phone calls stop feeling like a test.
And start feeling like a normal part of your day,
Not perfect, not effortless.
but manageable.
And that is where real confidence begins.
So now, let's move deeper into real-life phone situations.
The kind you might actually face any day.
Let's start with something very common, making a request on a phone call.
For example, if you need information.
You can say, "I would like to ask about something."
Say it slowly. I would like to ask about something.
Another example, "Can you give me some information?"
Say it. Can you give me some information?
These sentences are polite and clear
Now let's move to confirming information.
because sometimes you need to make sure you understood correctly.
You can say, let me confirm that.
Say it slowly. Let me confirm that.
Another example. So you mean this, right?
This helps avoid confusion
I remember I used to feel embarrassed asking again.
because you thought you should understand everything.
Yes, but that made things worse.
And now,
Now I repeat and confirm, and conversations feel easier.
that's a powerful change.
Now, let's talk about spelling and clarifying words on a call.
Because sometimes names or words are not clear.
You can say, "Can you spell that, please?"
Say it slowly. Can you spell that, please?
Or, "Could you say that again, slowly?"
These are very useful, especially on phone calls,
Now let's move to expressing delay or problem.
because real life is not always smooth.
You can say, "There is a small issue."
Say slowly. There is a small issue.
Another example, "It may take some time."
Say it. It may take some time.
These sentences help you stay calm and honest,
Now, let's move to reassuring the other person.
because sometimes they need clarity.
You can say, I will take care of it.
Say it slowly. "I will take care of it."
Another one. I will update you soon.
These build trust.
Now, let's connect everything into a real conversation.
Listen carefully. "Hi, this is," your name. "I would like to ask about something. There is a small issue, and I just want to confirm the details. Can you explain it again slowly, please? I want to make sure I understand everything correctly. Don't worry, I will take care of it and update you soon."
Take a moment and notice the flow.
This is real communication.
Not perfect, but clear.
Now, let's imagine another situation.
You are receiving a call.
The other person speaks quickly.
You feel a little lost.
What do?
You stay calm and say, Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat it slowly?
And suddenly, everything becomes easier.
Because you didn't panic, you responded.
That is confidence.
Now think about your own phone calls.
Think about what situation feels difficult for you.
Understanding, responding, asking questions.
Choose one and try to speak one sentence for it,
Even if it's simple,
even if it's slow.
it matters.
Now say this softly.
I can manage phone conversations in English, even if I make mistakes,
Because mistakes,
are part of learning,
not something to fear.
but something to grow from.
And every phone call you take
Every sentence you try,
brings you closer,
to speaking naturally,
slowly,
calmly,
confidently.
in English phone conversations.
There's a quiet kind of courage in picking up a phone and speaking in a language you're still learning.
It may seem like a small action to others,
But for you, it's a big step.
and every time you do it, you grow stronger
So now, let's go even deeper.
into situations where conversations feel a little longer, a little more real.
Let's begin with something very common, continuing a conversation on a call.
Because starting is one thing.
But keeping the conversation going is another.
You can say, let me explain a little more.
Say it slowly. "Let me explain a little more."
Another example, what I mean is,
Say it. "What I mean is..."
these sentences help you express yourself clearly
Now, let's talk about checking if the other person understands you.
because communication goes both ways.
You can say, "Is that clear?"
Say it slowly. Is that clear?
Or, "Do you understand what I mean?"
This makes your conversation stronger
Now, let's move to handling silence or confusion,
because sometimes there is a pause.
and you don't know what to say.
You can say, let me think for a moment,
Say it slowly. "Let me think for a moment."
or I'm just checking something.
These sentences give you control
I remember I used to panic during silence on calls.
because it felt uncomfortable.
Yes, I thought I had to speak all the time.
And now,
Now I use simple sentences to pause and think calmly.
that's real confidence.
Now let's talk about clarifying your point again.
Because sometimes the other person may not understand fully.
You can say, let me say that again.
Say it slowly. "Let me say that again."
Another example, I'll explain it in a simple way.
This helps you stay clear.
Now let's move to politely interrupting.
Because sometimes you need to say something in between.
You can say, sorry to interrupt.
Say it slowly. "Sorry to interrupt."
Then continue, I just want to add something.
This is respectful and useful.
Now let's connect everything into a longer, real-life phone conversation.
Listen carefully. "Hi, this is..." your name. "I wanted to talk about something. Let me explain a little more so it's clear. There is a small issue, and I just want to make sure we understand each other. If something is not clear, please let me know. Also, sorry to interrupt, but I just want to add one more point. I may take a moment to think, but I will explain everything properly.
Take a moment and feel the calm flow of this conversation.
This is not fast English.
This is clear English.
Now, imagine yourself in a real phone call,
You are speaking slowly,
taking pauses when needed,
using simple sentences.
and staying calm.
That is enough.
Now, think about a situation where you felt nervous on a call.
What could you say differently now?
Try to form one simple sentence,
Even softly.
even slowly.
It matters.
Now say this softly. I can stay calm and continue a phone conversation in English.
Feel the confidence growing inside you.
Because English is not about speed,
Because English is about clarity,
not about perfection.
but about connection,
And every time you speak,
even in small ways.
you are building something strong,
A voice that is calm
clear,
and confident
on every phone call.
in English.
There's a quiet moment after you end a phone call.
When you realize something,
You did it.
maybe it wasn't perfect.
Maybe you paused,
Maybe you searched for words,
but you spoke.
and that matters more than anything.
Because every real conversation,
Builds real confidence.
and now you're not the same person who felt afraid to answer a call.
You are someone who is trying, learning, growing.
Step by step.
So let's bring everything together one last time.
Listen carefully. Hello, this is your name. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to talk about something. If this is not a good time, please let me know. There is a small issue, and I want to explain it clearly. If I speak slowly or ask you to repeat, it's because I am still learning. Thank you for your patience. I will take care of everything and update you soon. It was nice talking to you. Talk to you later.
Take a moment and feel how natural this sounds.
This is not difficult English.
This is real-life communication. I remember the first time I spoke confidently on a phone call.
How did it feel?
It felt quiet, calm, like I didn't have to prove anything.
Just express.
Exactly.
And that's what this journey is about.
Not impressing others, but expressing yourself.
Now, think about your next phone call.
It could be today or tomorrow.
You might still feel a little nervous,
And that's okay.
but this time you have something powerful.
Simple sentences
Clear expressions.
and a calm mindset. Now imagine this.
Your phone rings
You take a breath,
and answer.
slowly, clearly, confidently.
That is growth.
Now say this final sentence softly. I can speak on phone calls in English, and I'm getting better every day.
Feel the strength in it.
Because this journey
Is not about speaking fast,
is about speaking with meaning,
not about being perfect.
but about being real.
And every call you answer
Every sentence you speak.
is a step forward.
Thank you for spending this calm time with us.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.
If this helped you, don't forget to subscribe.
And share this with a friend who is learning English.
We would love to hear from you.
Tell us in the comments, what is one sentence you will use on your next phone call?
And keep growing,
One word at a time,
one sentence at a time,
in real life.
in English.
Thank you for watching.